In this video, we're going to look at rules or equations of linear functions and how to solve for x or how to solve for y. Remember that a line can be represented as an equation, like y equals 2x plus 3, or it can be represented as a graph. And if we represent it as a graph, that line goes through many points, right? Each of those points has an x value and a y value. So if we know the x value of a particular point, we can find the y value that it has to go with. So let's draw a little picture first. So if we have our y-axis and we have our x-axis, okay? So here's my x and my y. And let's say this is going up by ones, as is this. And then let's say that we have a picture of a line, right? Let's say this line kind of goes here and there. Okay, so here's our line. And this line goes on forever and ever in both directions. And if we picked any particular point, so let's say we picked like this point on our line, remember every point has, like if we call this A, every point has an x value and a y value. It tells us from the origin how many we have to go over and how many we have to go up. So this point, for example, looks like it's about 1, 2, 3 over and about 2 up. It's kind of a rough picture, but I think you get the idea that we could call this point 2, 3. Now, what if we didn't have the picture to help us, but we only had the equation? And let's say we knew the x value. Let's say we knew, let's look at a different point on this line. So let's look at this point, right here. Let's call this point B. And let's imagine we didn't have our graph, but we knew that the x value for B is 0, right? It's not going up any. And we wanted to find out what the y value was. We wanted to find out this particular point. Well, we can do that. We can substitute in the x and solve for y. So when we're solving for x or solving for y, this is what we're doing. We're finding the point, that particular set of x and y's that this line goes through. So just so that we don't lose sight of our larger goal when we're solving for x or we're solving for y. This is what we're doing. So let's take a look at some examples. Here's a line, y equals 2x plus 3. So y equals 2x plus 3. And we're asked to find y when x is 3. So what that means is we know the line goes through the point 3 something. And we want to figure out what this something is. And that would tell us 1 point on the line. So to do this, there are a couple of steps that we'll do. We write the rule, like we've done over here. We replace x with the number that's given. So here it says x is 3. So instead of writing x, we're going to write 3. Remember, this is multiplication. This is 2 times x, so it's 2 times 3. So y equals 2 times 3. And I'm going to write my multiplication with brackets, but if you wanted to write it with a multiplication sign or a dot, that's okay too. But 2 times 3, and then we still have this plus 3 over here from our b value. And now we can solve. We do multiplication first, right? Remember, BEDMAS. So y equals 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3. And, right, BEDMAS tells us we do our addition and subtraction last. So 6 plus 3 is 9. So this tells us that the line goes through the point 3, 9. So when x equals 3, y equals 9. We can also do the reverse. If we're given the rule of a line, if we're given that equation, and we know y, we can find x. We follow the same steps. So let's erase the work that we've done, and let's look at our second example. Here, We're given the line y equals 2x plus 5, and we want to solve for x when y is 15. So we write the rule, that's our first step, y equals 2x plus 5. Second step, replace y with the number given. So here we're told y is 15. So 15 equals 2x plus 5. Now, remember when we were doing some algebra, we want to get x all by itself. So to get x all by itself, we get rid of addition or subtraction first. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. 15 minus 5 is 10. We still have our 2x, and our 5's go away. To get rid of this multiplication, we do some division. So this is divided by 2. This is divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. We do this division so the 2's go away. So 5 equals x. So when y equals 15, x equals 5. And what that tells us is that this line here goes through the point 5, 15. Remember, we always write our x's first. So when we're solving for x or we're solving for y, we write the rule, replace the variable x or y with the number that we're given, and then we solve for the other one.